welcome back to Vintage Family Recipes. I'm back in Texas. As you can see, I'm in my own kitchen again. Tonight we're going to make Snickerdoodle cookies. There are lots of Snickerdoodle recipes out there. This happens to be my aunt's recipe. I will put a disclaimer on this one. My uncle did not like cinnamon, so when she made hers, she didn't put cinnamon on her cookies. I am going to put the cinnamon sugar on the cookie because in my mind it's not really a Snickerdoodle if you don't have the cinnamon and sugar. So I've done all the pre-measuring and I'll walk you through what I have as I use it. The first thing I'm going to do is I have butter that is just softened, 1 cup, and I'm going to take the time to beat that up first before I add anything else to it. Next, I will add my 1.5 cups of plain white sugar and 1/3 of a cup of packed brown sugar. Next, I will add 2 eggs and 1 teaspoon of vanilla that I've already mixed together. So I will add those. I will now add the dry mixture. This includes 2 3/4 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and cream of tartar, 2 teaspoons. I've mixed it all together so that it's the consistency that I want it. You can use regular flour. I actually like to use fine pastry flour, and the reason I like to use this is the consistency for the cookie. Sometimes I want a really heavy, dense cookie, and then I'll use all-purpose flour. For the Snickerdoodle, I personally don't. I like them to be nice and soft. If you don't have it, you could sift regular flour, and that would give it a finer granular than just using the straight all-purpose flour. So now that I'm ready to put these on the cookie sheet, I will go ahead and turn my oven on to 350 degrees. I'm also going to taste it to see if I like the flavor or if I want to add another teaspoon of vanilla. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Nope, I like it the way it is. If you have littles, this is the perfect place to now let them help you in the kitchen. Have them stand next to you on a stool, or if you did like we did back in the dark ages, let them sit on the counter next to you. It's up to you. However, this part is the fun part for them. You're going to take a scoop of the batter, make sure it's a ball, and then you roll it in the cinnamon sugar mixture. I roll them twice. The first time I roll it, I get them all out on the tray, rolled once, and then I'll go back and roll each cookie a second time. I use a 1/2 cup of sugar and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon as my mix. So I've got it in a nice ball once again, and then I'm going to roll it in the mixture and put it on the cookie sheet. If you don't have a scoop, just use a teaspoon or a tablespoon depending on how big you want your cookies. This is probably the longest part of making the cookies besides baking them. Besides baking, I think this is probably the longest. And if you're doing it with littles, it is going to take longer because you want them to start to be in the kitchen with you and let them do things on their own And like I said, this is a great one to let them do. You can mix the batter first if you want by yourself, and then from there let them help you do this. It's a great way to have them start to learn cooking skills, but it's also a great way to build up different motor skills for them. And it builds memories for you and for them. My favorite memories from growing up are when I was in the kitchen with my family, especially with my mom and my grandmother, and when we would get together with the aunts and everybody would be in the kitchen. People would be cooking and baking and talking and laughing. They're just the memories that are probably the most seared in my head. I'm going to go back again, and I'm going to roll them a second time in the cinnamon and sugar mix. There we go. Oh, lovely. So we're going to take them out. Yes, I should probably have made them a little bit smaller, scoop-wise. However, I don't mind that they're big. And then when they cool, we'll do the taste test. We are here for the taste test of Snickerdoodles. If you noticed in the beginning of the video, the Snickerdoodles came out flat. And so I wanted to address that and how you can fix it. And they were kind of square because they flattened way too much. So there's a few things that you have to make sure you do with Snickerdoodles. Number one, when you mix in the flour, make sure that your cookie, as you roll it together, is not too soft. When you touch it, it should not be sticky. If it is, add more flour. Number two, make sure your butter is not too soft. Number three, make sure your egg is room temperature before you mix it in. They come out in nice round shapes. They're not flat. And so now, Andrew is going to taste test one.
They taste the same as the flat batch, the bad one. Mm-hmm. They're just not as crunchy. They're softer,
Okay.
which is good.
Right. Yes, you want a soft Snickerdoodle. You don't. Well, if you like crunchy cookies, you could make them crunchy and do all the things that I said not to do, and they would be crunchy. But these are what they should look like and what they should feel like. Hope you join us next time. Thanks for watching Vintage Family Recipes. Leave us a comment, hit a like button, hit the subscribe. Have a good night.